the young wrestler out of Richmond, BC. Jason Anderson, 220 pounds. Referee is Jürgen Herman. But let me tell you about Conan the Great. He hails from Mexico City, Mexico. He weighs in at 232 pounds. And despite the fact that he's a big man, 6'1" and over 230 pounds, he's noted as one of the most exciting high flyers to evolutionize the sport. Promoter Stu Hart was so impressed by Conan in televised bouts, he was able to sign him to appear for a series of bouts here in Western Canada. Masked men, of course, have always been intriguing and colorful figures, as fans often try and guess their identity. And I'll tell you about Conan's masks. He wears different masks, and very elaborate ones, for every single bout. Very colorful wrestler. Glad to have him in the territory, Pete Montana.
I'll tell you what, Jim Davies, I don't like Jason Anderson's chances against this guy. He comes with incredible credentials. He's a very colorful young man, and I'm very excited to see what he can do in the ring.
Well, the thing that surprises me is that he is noted as an acrobatic wrestler. Look at those moves. But he is a big man with amazing strength, and for a big man, for a man that size, to be a high flyer is certainly unusual. And I have just spotted the Archangel, who is standing around at the edge of the ring. He is eyeing the competition. He wants to have a look at Conan. Obviously, he wants to size him up. And you can see he is very intent, is the Archangel, on what is going on inside the ring.
Well, you know, every time somebody new comes into the territory, you got to worry about him, and the Archangel has to be thinking about this. Got to be thinking about everybody. He wants a title shot just like anybody else, and so he's got to worry about this guy. Oh, look at that move. Boy, that has got to hurt. Oh, look at him. He's not only a very technical wrestler, but he looks like he's pretty vicious about it, too.
Conan in complete control of the bout thus far. Working over the legs of young Jason Anderson, as you said. It could very well be a mismatch, judging from the credentials that Conan the Great is bringing into the ring with him. Jason Anderson managed to grab hold of the rope. The count was broken, and you can see Jason Anderson's legs were almost broken. He's limping around, asking referee Jürgen Herman to give him a moment. Let him recuperate a little bit.
You know, the Archangel standing ringside, you're going to see him just a sec. There he is, taking a look at Conan the Great. This is the first time this guy's wrestled in Canada. Now, I don't know if the Archangel's had an opportunity to see him before. Of course, Conan the Great from Mexico City, Mexico. Boy, that is an elaborate costume. I sure like. Look at him. These are very, very different moves, I'll tell you that.
And he's got the snakeskin pants on. And a mask that is extremely elaborate. Looks like it's snakeskin on a portion of it. Very, very nattily attired wrestler. And right now he got a little bit of heat there from Jason Anderson, who tried unsuccessfully to pin this man. I've heard of Conan the Barbarian as a very vicious fictional character. This man is not fictional. Conan the Great, and right now he's jawing away at the Archangel. Already they seem to have something going.
Boy, I'll tell you, it doesn't take long, and I think the masks kind of add a little bit to that. You'll notice on every mask that Conan the Great has, he'll have those crossed axes over top a shield on every mask he's seen. I've seen. He's actually showed me a few backstage and showed me a few of the things that he does have back there, and he'll have that on every. I guess that's kind of his trademark. Whoa, look at that move.
Amazing wrestling skills by Conan the Great. Jason Anderson complaining that his trunks were used as leverage. No way, Jose. I can see the Archangel is agreeing with Jason Anderson, but I'm sorry. There was no trunks involved. It was a legitimate wrestling maneuver, and Jason Anderson is very shaken up.
Oh, I'll tell you, he's got some incredible moves. And no offense to Jason Anderson, but we really haven't seen what we can. Well, maybe we're getting an opportunity now. Look at this. Hello, you're on the air.
Big hip toss. Look at this move. And Jason Anderson goes sliding out of the ring. He looks confused. He looks upset. I think he maybe wanted a little bit of advice from the Archangel. He's conferring with him now. But I don't think all the advice in the world is going to help him in that ring against this man, Conan the Great.
No, and I gotta tell you, I'm impressed. I've never seen a move like he just put on Jason Anderson. That was incredible. I didn't know what he was trying to do until he threw him over his shoulder, puts his legs up behind him. That's actually, he's got to have eyes in the back of his head to do that. Oh, here's a mistake. Here's a mistake. Jason Anderson locked with all. This could be. Oh, good night, Irene. Hello, you're on the air. Whoa! Jason Anderson flies across the ring, and he knows he's in over his head.
What an acrobatic big man. Jason Anderson still complaining about his trunks being grabbed. No, no, no. Here we go, off the ropes. Oh, the big flying clothesline. Conan picks up his man, drives him down to the canvas. We have passed the 5-minute mark in this bout. Conan the Great, the newcomer from Mexico City, in there against Jason Anderson, Richmond, British Columbia. And Conan says, look and learn. He's talking to the Archangel outside the ring. Conan just softening him up.
Boy, I tell you, I'd like to see these two. Look, he just picked Jason Anderson up like there was nothing there. What's he going to do? Some kind of suplex. Whoa! It's a little different way to do a suplex, but Jason Anderson not having a good time. But I'll tell you, I really would like to see Conan the Great and the Archangel get the ring together. Would that not be a terrific match, Jim Davies?
It would indeed, Pete. He's pouring on the pressure on the legs, and that's it, a submission. Your winner, Conan the Great, and he looked very, very impressive in that opening bout. I'll tell you, he's a good one. We're glad to have him in the territory. Let's see what he has to say as Pete Montana goes up into the ring to chat with Conan the Great.
The newest man in the territory, Conan the Great, in the ring with me. And Conan, first of all, that's a very impressive belt you've got there from the, where's that from again?
It's from the LAWA in Mexico.
Right, and I'm very, very impressed. Have to admit that you come in, and of course, Jason Anderson, not quite the toughest competition. Guys you're worried about are people like the Archangel, who you saw at ringside. There's a guy you'd like to get out of, sure.
I don't even know what he's doing at ringside. If he wants a match with me, let him sign one, like Jason Anderson did, because a bunch of muscles isn't going to get him anywhere. I know he's tough, and I know he's undefeated, but I'm willing to put up my mask against his anytime, anywhere.
And of course, North American Heavyweight Championship, you'd sort of like a shot at lethal Larry Cameron.
There's another loudmouth, and he has a title, and I don't think he's representing the fine people of Canada like he should, and I'm right here to put up my title against his whenever he wants.
All right, terrific. Conan the Great, you're going to see a whole lot more of him. Let's go ringside with Jim Davies.
Well, we're always pleased to have talented newcomers coming into the territory, and we got one with us right now, Bob Emery from Charleston, West Virginia. Good to have you here, Bob, and perhaps you could tell us a little bit about where you've been and what you've been up to.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davies. I've been wrestling for the past 3 years in the United States. I've been going from coast to coast. Everywhere I've gone, all I've heard is Stampede Wrestling. Stampede Wrestling. I heard they are the best athletes, the best wrestlers in the Stampede Wrestling. Due to DJ Peterson's untimely injury, Mr. Hart gave me the opportunity to come here to Stampede Wrestling to fare for myself and to challenge some of these people, particularly Larry Cameron, for the belt and for the quality athletes they have.
Now, you got a non-title affair coming up on this card with Lethal Larry Cameron. You've heard a lot about him. He's a big, tough man. Any idea on how you're going to do in this bout?
I haven't personally seen him wrestle. All I've done is by word of mouth. Larry Cameron this, Larry Cameron that. I heard he was vicious. I'm going to go in there, and hopefully I'll be quicker, more agile, and I'll just have to see what happens.
Bob Emery, very good to have you aboard.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll be right back with more wrestling action right after this.
DeSalvo, and first of all, how's your eye there, Steve? Not looking too good. Goldie took some time on that. Match didn't take long once you got rid of it. How's your eye?
It's all right.
Let me ask you a question. You're going to be tired of fighting guys like Goldie Rogers and Skull Mason. I know the guy you want is Lethal Larry Cameron and a shot at that North American Heavyweight Championship.
I'm going to tell you something now. Everybody's got to work his way up. Even myself. A man who was a former champion. A champion throughout the world. I've attained it all. But there's one thing I haven't. And that's that North American belt. I was a belt holder one time. 3 years ago. I came back about 2, and it was in my sights. I wrestled a big fat slob called Mukka Singh. But I'll tell you something else. News from Mr. Cameron. Mr. Archangel. Mr. Cameron, you have the belt. And that's something that I desire. And whatever the Strangler desires, he gets. Because he's a winner. And remember this, Mr. Cameron. And you can take it to the bank. I am a champion. In front of these people, and in your eyes, Larry Cameron, that belt will be mine. Someday you'll have to put up a match with me, and I will be champion. As far as you, Archangel, we have a grudge, because I know who you are. And guess what, Archangel? The last laugh will be mine. And it won't be just a mask we'll put over your head. We'll put a big body bag, starting from the top of your head, down to your feet. And better yet, why don't we put Larry Cameron and the Archangel in the body bag? But then again, if we're in the ring at the same time, there won't be enough to put in a body bag. And you can take that to the bank.
Strangler Steve DeSalvo, 290 pounds of power. He wants Lethal Larry Cameron, the Archangel, whoever he can get. Let's go ringside at Jim Davies.
North American heavyweight champ, Lethal Larry Cameron. And Lethal, you don't just beat your opponents, you put them right out of commission, and that is the word on DJ Peterson. He is now laid up in hospital. Now you got to face another one, Bob Emery, a man who's heard a lot about you, and he says he's got a lot of respect for your talent.
Well, let me tell you something, J.D. Anybody out there on planet Earth that got a brain could have seen DJ Peterson last week. He was like a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I told you and I told all the rest of these morons out here that I would get rid of DJ Peterson. He would never, ever put that figure 4 on anyone again. And Lethal Larry is a man of his word. And that's tonight. DJ Peterson is not here. Another thing I want to talk about is a guy called Bob Emery, Mr. America. Bob Emery, Mr. America don't cut duty squat up here. I am the world's greatest athlete, and for Mr. America, son, this is North Canada, and where I am the current belt holder up here. Bob Emery, you don't deserve a title shot. DJ Peterson didn't show up. If they want to push you up to the lethal one, it's too hard you let this be on your conscience, because I have nothing to do with this. Another thing is Steve DeSalvo. He's around here puffing himself off. I refuse to call him Steve. I'm going to call him Greasy. Greasy DeSalvo. DeSalvo, I put away more strong men. David Boy Smith. I put away the fastest man in the world in Owen Hart. I got rid of Jason. I got rid of Brian Pillman. I got rid of DJ Peterson. I got rid of Ricky Rice. You name them, I got rid of them. Greasy DeSalvo, as far as I'm concerned, you're just another sacrificial lamb. Because once you had the taste of paradise, living on earth, it could be just as cold as ice. And you take that to the bank, DeSalvo.
Lethal Larry Cameron, he means business. Stampede Wrestling is all over Western Canada, all over the United States. Check your screen and see if it's coming to a town or city near you. Great big knees to the midsection of Biff Wellington. Wellington shaken up. Biff Wellington trapped in that corner. Oh, look at this. Wellington comes off that rope. 1, 2. Just a 2 count. The Archangel got in there and broke up that pin. And it's surprising that the referee, Jürgen Herman, didn't issue a yellow card for that interference.
You know, I think, Jim Davies, that Chris Benoit and Biff Wellington have been working out, I don't want to say behind our backs or anything like that, but it looks like I've seen Biff making some moves tonight that I haven't seen him do for a while. And some new moves. And these guys are always working to improve themselves. If they're not the next tag team champions, I'll be very, very surprised, because I don't think there are two wrestlers as a team that work any harder than Chris Benoit and Biff Wellington, and evidence of that is what we've seen in the ring.
Now it's Benoit coming off the ropes. Sunset flip, but ooh, he couldn't pull down the Archangel. Oh, Benoit got right up, surprised the Archangel, and gave him a big clothesline. Now the Archangel goes flying out of the ring. He's being comforted outside the ring by Miss Honey and the Weasel. Whoa, I'll tell you, the Archangel was really surprised when Benoit, after taking that punch in the head, stayed down for probably less than half a second.
You know what I've seen here in this particular match, Jim, is the fact that Chris Benoit has exhibited some incredible strength against the Archangel. We're talking about a very strong man, the Archangel, and we've seen Chris power out of some moves and really do some things that I haven't seen him do yet. He's getting stronger and stronger every week, as is his partner Biff Wellington, and it looks great.
10 minutes.
We are at the 10-minute mark, and we will take a very short break. Before we get back with the action in this bout, we'll be right back with tag team action. Benoit and Wellington, the Youngbloods, against the British Bruiser Johnny Smith and the Archangel, after this commercial message.
Biff out of the ring. Now Chris Benoit comes in to complain, and you know all that's going to do is cause problems, because here comes the Archangel. Oh.
The Archangel working over Wellington outside the ring. The referee preoccupied with the scuffle between Benoit and Johnny Smith now sends Benoit back to his corner. But Wellington getting worked over outside the ring by the Archangel. Finally, the Archangel deposits him inside the ring in hopes that Johnny Smith can finish him off. And right away, Smith fires Wellington out of the ring again, and the Weasel now using his boots on Biff Wellington. Now, the Archangel. Wellington in a great deal of difficulty. He's getting run outside. Oh, he went right into that big metal door outside the wrestler's dressing room area. And I don't know if Wellington will be able to continue. It could be one man against two. The referee seems preoccupied with the Weasel right now, as a very groggy Biff Wellington is brought back to the ring area by the Archangel. And he's suplexed into the ring. No! Look at this maneuver. Wellington, 1, 2, 2 1/2. Amazing that Wellington still had that much stamina to almost pin the British Bruiser.
I got to tell you, I'm really impressed with what Biff Wellington just did after what he was just through, and still had the consciousness to be able to put that move on. That was a great move, and Johnny Smith was certainly surprised that he almost had him. I'm very impressed. Biff Wellington and Chris Benoit have got to be one of the best tag teams in the world, and they're going to show it. Someday they're going to get their chance.
Well, Wellington picked up by Johnny Smith, put down on the canvas. And while the referee is distracted, the Archangel grabs the leg of Wellington, and he's driving it off the corner of the ring. Finally, Benoit can't take any more of that. He came over to keep an eye on the proceedings and promptly has been ordered back to his corner, but Biff Wellington in all kinds of trouble. Off those ropes. Oh, a DDT by Biff Wellington. How did he manage to have enough inside himself to do that? He has to make a tag, though. He has to make a tag. Chris Benoit urging Biff Wellington, his partner, to get over and make that tag. Pete Montana, a very, very important moment in this bout.
Incredibly important, and Biff seems a little lost right now. He's going to the wrong corner. He's not really sure where he is, trying to get himself up, but I can't imagine that move he just did. That's the second time in this match we've seen Biff in that much trouble and still be able to do what he did. Look at this turnaround. Another one. Johnny Smith in pain, and still Biff Wellington. Look, he is hurting and manages to do that sort of thing, Jim Davies. Absolutely incredible. Can he make the tag? There you go.
In comes Chris Benoit. He is going crazy. Fires Johnny Smith into the turnbuckle. Now off those ropes. Big clothesline. Oh, and right away, Benoit grabbing both men. He's gonna do a little noggin knocking. Kabang! And both the Archangel and Johnny Smith go down. Now it's Benoit cleaning house.
It certainly is. Johnny Smith, the backbreaker there. Now he's down at 1, 2, and the Archangel comes in to break that up. Chris Benoit is cleaning house in there. Like you said, Jim Davies, the Johnny Smith, the British Bruiser, is in some trouble.
This could be it. 1, 2. Oh, and once again, broken up by outside interference by the Archangel. And the Archangel's in there in a flash, going after Chris Benoit. We have passed the 20-minute mark. Oh. Here's a sleeper by Chris Benoit. Smith gets in there to break it up, but right away Wellington goes after Smith. Everybody's fighting everybody.
Here we go, a little payback for the last time these two were together. They broke up a match, and now bango, bongo, bingo, they're down. Biff Wellington and Chris Benoit are having their due with the Archangel and Johnny Smith. Here's Chris Benoit, a drop kick, and down goes the masked man. And he's in some trouble because look out, it's a figure 4. Chris Benoit, oh! Johnny Smith comes in from outside and just nails Chris Benoit.
And the referee didn't see that. 1, 2, 3, it's all over. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All kinds of outside interference. The winners, only because of the referee's incompetence, are the Archangel and the British Bruiser. The Youngbloods extremely disappointed. Let's go up into the ring with Pete Montana and see what they have to say.
You know, I just don't get it. Every single time you guys get an opportunity to do something, and you have to come up against guys like that. I don't know, Chris. I'm just beside myself. Really, you guys look absolutely terrific. And if it wasn't for outside interference, you'd have had these guys. And I guess it just sort of strengthens what you've got to do against them.
Well, it's really frustrating. Last week in this ring, we beat the champions. We had them beat. The belts belonged to us. But they had to get on it. They knew they were going to get beat. What did they do? He used a foreign object, outside interference. The same thing happened tonight. Johnny Smith, Archangel. You can't face us like men. You have to bring in a foreign object. You need that little weasel out there to get you through, don't you? I'll tell you what. You bring all what you got next week. Bring it all. Bring the weasel, bring honey, bring anyone. All we want is your name on that dotted line. Because I'll tell you what, we'll have a few things in store for you next week.
I know you want the championship, Biff, but these guys have got to be upset. You got to get them.
Well, we want that championship belt. There's no question about it. But these two men that we face in the ring tonight, they cost us those belts. Chris and I didn't come in here looking for a cakewalk like we've had with the other people around this territory. Archangel, we know you're a tough individual. Johnny Smith, probably even tougher. But let me tell you something. Chris and me, we're ready. We're going to come in next week. We're going to kick butt.
All right, you heard it. The Youngbloods not happy at all with what happened in the ring tonight. They are very capable and been working very, very hard, and we're going to see them next week against those two. You can bet on it. Let's go ringside with Jim Davies.
Johnny Smith, the Archangel. We have the lovely Miss Honey, and of course the Weasel. I'll tell you, everybody was yelling cheater, cheater, cheater when you came here for this interview.
Why?
could be something to do with outside interference.
Outside interference. Listen.
And Benoit and Wellington want you next week.
Benoit and Wellington wants next week. Listen, I told every stupid, ignorant moron out there, I went out and got the superhuman Archangel. We came out here last week and said, who did the Youngbloods ever beat? They had to go through us for a shot of the tag belt. We came out here, we did our talking in the ring. We proved it 1, 2, 3 right in the middle. Me and the superhuman man, the Archangel, we beat him 1, 2, 3, whether them stupid mega doses like it or not. They don't deserve a title shot. The title shot should go to us. And there's another special treat, and you make sure you all pay attention as I'll come in there and knock you all daft. A few words from the Archangel.
Archangel?
Yeah, this is Chris Benoit, Biff Wellington. You got beat 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, and you know it. There's no way on this earth that you could go through Johnny Smith and myself, along with his manager, and you look what I got for a manager now. I got rid of you, Hart, and I got something that goes along with me. Oh, and let me tell you something. By the way, who is this, Conan the what? I'm the only greatest masked man in the world. And let me tell you something, Conan. I'm going to come out and prove it to the people, and I'm going to expose you for the phony you are. I'm the one and only masked man in this territory, and I'm only going to be the one. And you're going down, and I'm going to take that mask off you.
Miss Honey?
Shut up.
Miss Honey, you proud of your boys?
Oh, you bet I am. They got the biggest muscles in this show.
Oh, you tell 'em, baby.
And from the sublime to the ridiculous, Weasel?
I told you Johnny is #1. He is the best. We take way for everybody. We want the championship. Championship.
Let me tell you something right now. When you talk to my manageress, you better talk very nice, or I'll rip your head off and spit down your neck.
Okay. I'll take that under advisement. We'll be right back, right after this. Takedown by Bob Emery just when you thought that Lethal Larry Cameron was getting his act together. He jumped over top of Emery twice when Emery was coming off the ropes, but whoa, Emery showed what he's made of. He stopped a hip toss by Lethal Larry Cameron and gave him one of his own, then gave him another. And he is working over that left arm of Lethal Larry Cameron. You'd have to think Cameron is surprised at what's transpired in the ring. Bob Emery, indeed, a formidable opponent.
Oh, definitely. He certainly is. Lethal Larry gets out of that arm bar with the use of a knee, takes a big swing. Emery off the ropes. Here they come together. What was that all about?
Well, Emery figured that he would have a target, but instead, Cameron went down, and Emery's cross body block met nothing but air. There's the strength of Cameron. Just picks up his man, fires him across the ring, and lets out that big war whoop.
Absolutely incredible. You know, we talked about that last time we saw Larry wrestle, the fact that sometimes you forget about his strength. Hard to believe, I know. But, oh, big knee into Bob Emery's chest. But it's hard to forget about it when he does things like pick up 248 pounds of a Charleston, West Virginia, and chuck him across the ring like he was a sack of potatoes.
We're watching our main and final event. Oh, Lethal Larry Cameron bulldogs Bob Emery down. It is Cameron against Emery. Cameron, 260, Chicago, the North American heavyweight champ. Emery, 248, Charleston, West Virginia, a newcomer who has looked impressive, although right now, oh, Cameron with that huge suplex. One, he's not going to get him down like that with just one knee on the chest. He doesn't respect his opponents very often, and he tries to punish them as much as he can. Again, just a 2 count, and I think right now, Lethal Larry Cameron is being just a little casual.
Well, I think what he's trying to do is show Bob Emery that he is the champion, and he doesn't have to do all the things that normal people do. I mean, of course, Lethal Larry's only lost twice in some 150 matches. So, I mean, he does have something that back that up with, but right now, Bob Emery in a little trouble, and Lethal Larry could have had this match twice. He's got to be careful because Bob Emery is very, very capable from what we've seen so far, and I don't think he should mess with him.
Emery getting his eyes gouged in the corner by Lethal Larry Cameron.
Yellow card for Larry Cameron.
And for that, he gets a yellow card from the referee, Jurgen Herman. Cameron was trying to pick him up, but Emery's stubborn, but he's getting his neck massaged by that top rope. Now he catches a boot right in the midsection from Cameron. Bob Emery in some difficulty. He's punching away at the champion, but the champion comes back with a punch of his own. And then that big clothesline, and Emery goes down hard.
Boy, that had to hurt. That big forearm of the Shenley Award winner. Boom! Oh, that had to hurt, too. Oh, good heavens.
This is a pin attempt. Again, just a 2 count, and I think Cameron a little casual with those pins. He's not putting the weight of his body on top of Emery. Instead, he elects to just hold him down with one hand or one foot. A little bit of showboating. It could cost him. You never know.
No, you don't. And in this sport, you got to take your wins when you can get them. And, of course, Lethal Larry, we don't have to tell him that. He's, like we said, he had so many in the territory. Really has been here for so long and such a dominating power. You know, something I've noticed about Lethal Larry, Jim Davies, and that is, oh, big knee. And that is that headgear he wears. When he's real serious, it comes off. But when he's in there for what he thinks is going to be a stroll in the park, it stays right where it is. And that's where it is right now on his head. And I don't think he's worried about Bob Emery, not in the least.
Well, Emery hoping to give him reason to be worried. There he goes off the rope, and that big football tackle by the former Canadian Football League Shenley winner, Lethal Larry Cameron. Emery shaking his head, trying to get rid of the cobwebs. Now here he goes off the ropes, picked up, power slam by Cameron. This could be it. 2. No, just a 2 count again. And I'm not sure whether Cameron was a little lackadaisical or if Emery actually had the wherewithal to break that pin.
Well, I think Bob Emery's got some good strength. Here we go. Looks like he's going to try and get him into a... Whoa, can't get him up. Going to try... Whoa, look at this. Holy smokes. He breaks Lethal Larry's move. Looked like he was going to try and drop him head first. Of course, that's Lethal Larry's move, right, Jim Davies?
He likes that pile driver. He does indeed. But right now, he's outside the ring. Emery going right out after him. They're trading blows outside the ring. The referee is counting them both. They better get back in. He's at 7. They're both outside the ring. They're not going to make it in. They're not going to make it in time. They're both counted out outside the ring. This one goes into the books as no contest. We'll have to see what Bob Emery has to say. Pete Montana will be talking to him right away at ringside.
Bob, absolutely incredible. You know, Lethal Larry is an incredible champion. He's got some in 150 fights, just 2 losses. You come in here tonight, a great match against him.
Thank you very much. You know, I've been down in the States. I've wrestled north to west, south to east, you name it. Everywhere I've gone, I've heard about Lethal Larry. Due to DJ Peterson's injury, I got a chance to come up here. I want a title match. I want a title match. He put his best moves on me, and I'm still standing. Where's he at?
Yeah, he tried to pancake you there, and you got out of that no problem. You think you deserve that match?
It was a good match. He is tough, but I know right here that I can take him.
All right, Bob Emery wants a shot at Lethal Larry Cameron. We're going to go to Jim Davies and find out what the Lethal One has to say.
Lethal Larry Cameron, a double count out, a rare moment for the fans here. They very seldom see you leave the ring without your hand being raised in the air. Bob Emery maybe took you a little bit by surprise.
Well, you know, J.D., it seemed like a lot of conspiracy going on around here. They throwing guys at me week after week. The Lethal One been back 2 months, and every night the Lethal One have to defend his title. But that's okay, J.D., because that goes with what's being on the top. But the thing that bothered me is little guys coming in here with no name at all, getting a title shot at the Lethal One. But that's okay, because the Lethal One is out for business now. If they want to send little wimps at me, no-name guys, then Lethal One is going to take things into his own hand. Jim Davies, I'm not concerned about pins no more. I don't give a damn if I never pin another man here again. I'm out to hurt people. And just from the night You saw exactly what I was trying to do to this kid. I'm going to do the same thing I did to him and I did to JDPs and all the rest of them. I'm going to run him out the territory also.
Don't seem to be very many wrestlers that can continue their careers after you're through with them, Lethal Larry.
That's right, Jetty. I don't know what the problem is. A lot of these people haven't opened up their eyes and smelled the coffee yet. One thing they got to realize, that the Lethal is #1, and I will always be #1, and I will never, ever play sucking filler to no one here or anywhere else, because the Lethal one is for real. And from now on, I don't give a, you know what, about pen, JD. I'm out to hurt people starting tonight.
Lethal Larry Cameron, the champ. He's out to hurt people. We'll be right back to wrap things up right after this. Line, Bruce Hart, the challenger out of Calgary. Great Gamma, the champion from Karachi. Best of 3 falls, all tied up. 1 fall apiece. We are almost at the 20-minute mark. It has been hammer and tong, both men giving it their all. Gamma having the advantage of having 3 of his cronies at ringside. The 3 cronies, of course, the Weasel, B.G. Holiday, and K.Y. Wakamatsu.
You know, Bruce Hart is taking a punishment here, taking a real beating. He has this whole half of the match, and somewhere in his subconscious, he is staying awake. Somewhere in there, he is saying to himself, I have got to overcome. I must prevail. And he is really doing the very best he can. Anybody else, I'll tell you right now, except maybe Davey Boy Smith, would be out. But right now, Bruce Hart is doing his very best to show the Great Gamma that he is in for one heck of a fight.
Getting by just on guts and sheer determination, but now Gamma has applied the cover. Bruce couldn't escape from it in the second fall. I don't know how he'll be able to now.
That's the Cobra hold. That is the hold that the Great Gamma used to capture his fall. It is, of course, 1 fall apiece in this best of 3 falls. Bruce Hart down on his knees. His arm drops once. His arm, it does not drop. It is madness in here. Everybody's going after everybody else. There's that flying clothesline. 1, 2, hey, Wakamatsu put Gamma's foot up on the rope. Wakamatsu put his foot up on the rope.
His foot was definitely on the rope, but David Putnam didn't see it. Now you have to make a decision.
He's waving it off. He says no fall. The referee says no fall. I cannot believe it. It is still 1 fall apiece. It should be 2 falls to 1. It should be 2 falls to 1. For Bruce Hart, he should be the winner of the title, but Wakamatsu interfered. He put Gamma's foot back up on the rope, and now it's Gamma trying to go to town. He's trying to pile drive Bruce Hart, but Bruce throws him over.
Boy, it's been one fight. It's just incredible what Bruce Hart is trying to do. Now he's over the top rope, and of course help from Abu Izal and K.Y. Wakamatsu, and that's the bell.
They pulled the rope down. That's got to be a disqualification. The referee signaled the end of the bout. It is a disqualification. Bruce Hart wins the bout, but unfortunately, because of the disqualification, Bruce Hart will not get the belt. The belt.
Bruce Hart, yesterday afternoon, we're at your house. 3.5 hours, we watch videotape of the Great Gamma wrestling several times that you've wrestled him. You figure you've got a game plan. You know what you're doing. Interference from outside the ring again. What do you do?
I beat him 1, 2, 3 right in the middle of the ring, Pete. That's exactly what I set out to do. Everything went my way tonight. I pinned him 1, 2, 3. The ref went 1, 2, 3. How come that belt's not around my waist?
Is there something else you're going to have to do?
Just like at the end of 60 minutes and you're up by 1 goal in the 7th game of the Stanley Cup Finals. That Stanley Cup should belong to you. I pinned him 1, 2, 3 right in the middle of the ring. How come that belt's not around my waist?
What are you going to do? Cage match?
I don't know what I got to do. I already wanted anything. It's a cage, if it's a chain, if it's a lumberjack. I don't care. I deserve that belt. I'm so frustrated. I've been wrestling 15 years. This represents the single most frustrating moment in my whole career. I won that belt fair and square. I trained, I geared up for this match for weeks and months. I came in here, did everything according to my game plan, and I won it. 1, 2, 3, right in front of all these great Canadian fans, and that belt's not around my waist. What do I gotta do?
from Abu Izal and K.Y. Wakamatsu, and that's the bell.
They pulled the rope down. That's got to be a disqualification. The referee signaled the end of the bout. It is a disqualification. Bruce Hart wins the bout.
You heard it here. Bruce Hart doesn't know what he has to do. We're going to find out in a second what the Great Gamma thinks. We're going to go to Jim Davies.
Well, Great Gamma, you lost the bout, but you kept the belt. You can't be very proud of yourself.
Close up of this belt here, Jim Davies. Take a close look at this Commonwealth title. This belt is mine. It's going to stay around my waist for a long, long time to come. I'm a 6-time record title.
Here comes Bruce Hart.
I don't know what this guy's doing here.
Hey, I won that belt. Fair and square right in the middle of the ring tonight, Gamma. That's my belt. You got no right to claim it to be the champion. I pinned you 1, 2, 3. There's no way I'm going to stop now. I want a lumberjack match, a cage match, a chain match. I want that little moron suspended or gotten out of here. I'm not putting up with it. I want it fair and square.
This is my belt. I don't know what the heck you're crying about.
You saw it, Jim.
Everybody saw it.
Right in the middle.
And exactly, and not only did he not have his foot on the rope, it was placed on there by K.Y. Wakamatsu.
Yeah, you heard it, Gamma.
Well, it's going to start all over again. They're going to go after it again.
Bruce Hart, you've bitten off a little bit more than you can chew. You want another shot at the title? I'll give you another shot at the title. And you make sure you keep your brother out of the ring so he doesn't interfere.
Bruce Hart going after the Great Gamma, and the Gamma fleeing. Whoa. It has been well. Get out of here. 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 Pete Montana, it has been a wild evening, and we promise you it'll be even wilder next week. You can bet on that.
As usual, it is just mayhem on Stampede Wrestling, and if I keep having this much fun, I'm going to keep coming back. It's great. You should, too.
Okay, we miss you, Ed Whalen, and be here, all of you, next week for another edition of Stampede Wrestling. Bye-bye now.